All right. About to start the preliminary hearing of Mr. Cameron Richardson. This is State of Georgia versus Cameron LeRae Richardson, charged in warrant number 2026 WA 02321, loitering. Representing the state is Assistant Solicitor Adams. Representing the defendant is Attorney Lane. Your witness, Assistant Solicitor.
Deputy Jackson, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give in this matter today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You can lower your hand. Thank you. Please state your name for the record.
Deputy Edmund Jackson.
Where do you work?
I work at Clayton County Sheriff's Office.
And what's your role?
So I am a deputy. My role is to act on behalf of a deputy. Sometimes I work inside of the jail, and sometimes I work on the street.
Are you post-certified?
Yes, ma'am.
And how long have you been post-certified?
December will make it 2 years, ma'am. So just over a year now.
Okay. On January 25th, 2025, were you on duty in Clayton County?
January 25th, 2026. Yes, I was.
Oh, yes, excuse me. And were you at the Quick Trip located at 8805 Terra Boulevard, Jonesboro, Georgia?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
Is that location located in Clayton County?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
While you were at that location, did you speak with the store clerk?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
And what did she say to you?
She told me that there was a man outside watching her walk around the store, and that it looked like that he was waiting for her to walk into the back of the store before he walked inside. And then once she walked into the back of the store, then he walked inside of the store and went to the bathroom.
Once you got that report, what did you do?
So I told her that I would check it out for her. As soon as that report came, there was another radio alerted us that there was a man driving on the wrong side of the street. So I left that, and then I went and assisted some deputies with that. I told her I would be back. After I assisted the deputies, I went back to the Quick Trip, and then I had radio hold traffic so that I could walk into the bathroom and see what was going on and see who this individual was. And then I walked into the bathroom. I made contact with Mr. Richardson. Upon making contact with him, he seemed a little nervous. He had scarves and wrapped around his head. He was washing items inside of the toilet in the bathroom. And then I asked him for his name. He wouldn't give me his name first. So then I detained him until I could figure out who he was. Once I detained him, I walked him outside of the bathroom, set him on top of my patrol car, asked him his name. I ran his name in the system. He had a warrant for a violation of probation, and I was to contact Officer Kendall Humphrey. And then, so once I found out that he had a warrant, I took him to Clayton County Jail.
Okay. You said that you before you actually went back to the bathroom, you responded to a call for service. Do you know approximately the span of time that transpired between the time that you received the report from the clerk and the time that you returned to investigate?
So I believe it was no more than 5 minutes, because as soon as I pulled up, the other deputies had already had control of the situation. And then I cleared it with the lead officer on scene, and then I left.
And when you did detain the defendant when investigating while he was in the store, did you ask him why he was in the store?
Yes, I did ask him why he was in the store, but he seemed nervous. He wasn't really trying to talk to me. And the reason why I detained him was because he seemed nervous. He started looking me up and down. It looked like, based on my experience as an officer, it looked like he might have tried to run our fight. So I just wanted to avoid all conflict, so I detained him.
Um, And just to confirm, did you take him into custody?
I did take him into custody after getting the knowledge of who he was.
Mhm. No further questions, Your Honor.
Cross?
Your Honor, just brief argument.
All right, go ahead.
Your Honor, we request a dismissal of the loitering charge just based off the officer's testimony. There hasn't been any evidence presented that Mr. Richardson was a threat to anybody's safety there in the store. And so we just request a dismissal of the loitering based on that.
All right, go ahead. Assistant Solicitor?
Yes, Your Honor. We do believe that the state has met its burden in order to get this case bound over to state court for further prosecution. The deputy testified that a clerk who works at the Quick Trip reported suspicious activity outside of the Quick Trip. Upon further investigation, he observed the defendant inside of the restroom, washing items in the toilets. The defendant was concealing his identity with concealed his face with scars, and he appeared nervous during the encounter. There may be some questions as to whether or not he placed anybody in fear, but at this stage, we have enough. I believe that the state has made enough evidence or proffered enough evidence to further prosecute this, get more evidence as it relates to this charge. So we do respectfully request that Your Honor bound this over to state court.
All right, so based upon the evidence presented, I do find there is sufficient probable cause to bind this charge over to the state court, Clayton County. That's the order of the court. All right, and so who do we need to do next?
My apologies, Your Honor. Am I needed for anything else?
No, have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you. You as well.
All right, who does Mr. Officer Wilson have? Is that Souter?
Your
Are we
Honor.
ready on Mr. Souter?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes,
Did
Your
you
Honor.
speak? Okay, all right. If you would bring Mr. Souter, please. All right, are you Mr. Jeremy Souter?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Souter, we're about to start your preliminary hearing. All right, this is the state of Georgia versus Jeremy Souter, charged in warrant numbers 2025 CW 57140 obstruction, 2025 CW 57141 terroristic threats, 2025 CW 57142 public drunk. Representing the state is Assistant Solicitor Adams. Representing the defendant is Attorney Mark Lane. Your witness, Assistant Solicitor.
Wilson, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give before the court today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name for the record.
Sergeant Wilson,
Sergeant Wilson, where do you work?
Mara Police Department.
And what's your role with the Marl Police Department?
I'm a sergeant on patrol. Uniform patrol.
And what are some of your typical duties?
Uh, I monitor the officers underneath me. I do traffic stops, business checks, reports, check reports.
On October 12th, 2025, were you on duty in Clayton County?
Yes, I was.
And can you tell the court how you came into contact with the defendant?
Yes, on October 12th, 2025, around 8:45 p.m. We was having a car event here. We was trying to get everybody to leave the car event, cars, traffic. Mr. Jeremy came from the district area. He was approaching us. He was shouting profanity at us and stuff like that. While he was walking in the road, Officer Hamlin asked him to step out of the roadway, which he didn't. So we started to walk towards him, which he started to walk away from us. We requested him to stop. We finally got him to stop by the Tesla station, which then we requested for his ID to identify him. We could smell the presence of an alcohol substance coming from his breath. When we asked him for his ID, he wasn't trying to give his ID. He bladed himself took a fighting stance as if he was gonna fight with the officers. So they drew their tasers. They drew their tasers on him. Lieutenant Hendricks then stated somebody cuff him. So while she was putting her taser away, I went to go grab him to cuff him, which he then jerked away and pulled his hand up. And then I had hit him. He fell. Officer Hamlin then handcuffed him, got EMS there to check him out. He was then brought to Grady Hospital. Later on, I had obtained the warrants for obstruction, public drunk, and terroristic threats, because when he was in the car on body cam and in the police car, he was threatening to kill our families.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
All right, Cross.
Hey, good morning, officer.
Good morning.
When you were meeting with Mr. Souter, did it seem like he was lucid and able to understand your questions and commands?
When we told him to stop, we told him to stop, he's like, he replied back with "F you, lame, N-word." So I mean, he did hear us communicating to him and commanding him to stop and to give us his ID and everything of that nature.
Okay. And at what point was he punched in the jaw?
That was after after he had took a bladed stance. The tasers was drawn on him, and he was still being rambunctious at that time. And so that's the reason why the lieutenant requested to handcuff him. And then when I went to go grab him, he jerked, and then that's when he was punched.
Okay. And when he was punched, he hadn't been tased at all?
He was not tased at that time.
Okay.
At that time, the officers, they could not tase him because the distance that we was in, me and him, it wouldn't have been effective to tase him.
Okay. And so when he pulled away, the first reaction was to punch him in the jaw?
He already gave indications that he was gonna fight. He was already confrontational. Like I stated before, he took a bladed stance, which in our line of work, when somebody take a bladed stance, that's an indicator they're gonna fight. They're not gonna flee. They're gonna fight you.
So he was then eventually punched in the jaw and then eventually handcuffed. Is that correct?
Yes, he was handcuffed by, I believe it was, Officer Hamlin who handcuffed him.
Okay. And then he was at that, and then it was when he was in the back of the patrol car, he allegedly made some threats when he was handcuffed
Yes,
with a broken jaw.
yes, he made threats. Yes,
And this was after he was arrested and handcuffed
yeah,
and with a
yes.
broken jaw.
After he was handcuffed and arrested and put in a patrol car. I don't know who patrol car he was put in at that time.
And then I guess he was taken to Grady Hospital
Yes.
with a broken jaw. And then what happened after that?
Uh, After that, I don't. Officer Petrokovich is the one who brought him to the hospital. So I don't know. He stayed at the hospital until they said they was gonna um hold him at the hospital.
Okay. All right. And was he ever tested? I guess as far as the public drunk, what was the evidence of that?
All that only evidence was that all the officer had smelled the alcoholic beverage coming from his presence. I mean, it's not a DUI, so we're not gonna take him and do intoxilize or request blood.
All right. Well, thank you, officer. I don't have any further questions.
All righty. Any redirect?
Yes, Your Honor, just briefly.
Sure.
Officer, um, in your experience, is reasonable force, or are you trained to use reasonable force when necessary to gain control of an incident?
Yes, we are.
Um, in this particular case, was force applied only after the defendant took a fighting stance?
Yes.
And what was the purpose of you applying that force? What were you trying to effectuate?
So at that point, we were trying to get him into custody, and with the indicators of that he was going to fight, it was this to gain control of the situation and get him handcuffed, as which we did. We was able to get him handcuffed after that incident.
Okay. And prior to any use of force at all, was the defendant lawfully complying with your commands?
No, he wasn't.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
All righty. Closing arguments?
The state would like to waive and reserve?
All right, go ahead.
I-
Go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. This defense would request a dismissal of all the charges just based on this being an illegal arrest with excessive force being used to conduct it, breaking my client's jaw. As you heard the officer testify, he just simply pulled away initially, which certainly wasn't cause for them to break his jaw. There's no real evidence of the public drunk. And as far as the terroristic threats that were allegedly made in the back of the officer's patrol car, there was no way that he could possibly acted upon those threats when he had a broken jaw and was handcuffed and under arrest in the back of the patrol car. So just based on that, we request a dismissal of all the charges.
All righty, go ahead.
Yeah. Your Honor, at this stage, the preliminary hearing is simply about probable cause, whether or not the officers had probable cause to affect an arrest, and whether or not we have probable cause to continue to pursue proceedings. The evidence that we've seen today shows that the defendant was belligerent, refused to comply with officers' lawful commands, assumed a fighting stance, and officers responded with reasonable force to gain control of the situation and to effect. For the obstruction charge, the evidence does show that the defendant was belligerent. He was yelling fighting words at the officers. He took a fighting stance towards the officers and just in general refused to comply with their commands. And that hindered the officers' ability to perform their duties and continue to investigate. For the public drunkenness, the officer testified to the odor of alcohol on the defendant's persons, and then officer testified to a number of signs of impairment. After a large event in a public area, they were trying to remove the defendant, and he was again just resisting their lawful commands. The defendant was acting loud and aggressive towards the officers, which further indicates impairment. And for the terroristic threats charge, the evidence shows that the defendant, when he was placed in the squad car with the cops, the defendant was threatening to kill the officer's family. Statements that reference serious harm and are intended to instill fear in the recipients. The questions about the degree of force at this stage, they don't negate the underlying conduct that prompted this encounter. So here, I believe that the relevant inquiry is only the probable cause, whether or not the officers had probable cause to effect an arrest, and I believe that the state has met its burden here.
All right, that's it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, based upon the evidence presented, I do find that there is sufficient probable cause to bind all three charges over to the State Court of Clayton County. That's the order of the court. All right, do we have any officers that we can move to the next case?
Lieutenant Turnbull is ready.
I'm sorry?
Lieutenant Turnbull is ready.
Officer Walker is ready as well.
Is I'm free to go now, Judge?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Officer Bridges is ready, ma'am.
All righty. Let me just go from the top. All right, so what about Pickett? Whose case is Pickett?
That's gonna be mine, Your Honor.
All right, and if you could bring Xavier Pickett, please.
Your Honor. Your Honor.
You stepped away for a moment. You have an announcement?
Yes, so Pickett is in our behavior housing unit. So he's
Okay,
not,
so you have to bring him up?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, let's see if we can move to the next one. One moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have solder? Is solder ready? Deputy?
We just finished solder, or we did not.
You said, oh, solder.
All right.
Do you have solder? SOUDER, Jeremy?
We just finished solder.
We, oh, my apology. I thought we did, Robinson. Stand by. Okay, so Robinson. Cameron Robinson.
Miss,
Yes.
what was the last name you said? Robinson.
We can do Robinson.
What's the first name?
D. Robinson.
You have a D Robinson?
Deshawn.
Okay. All right, he's here.
Okay.
And hope he's back to this week if possible, if not early next week.
All righty. All right, now about to start the preliminary hearing for Deshaun Robinson. All righty. Are you in fact Ms. Deshaun Robinson? Just nod your head, yes or no? Just nod yes or no. Okay. All right. The inmate has indicated that he is in fact Deshaun Robinson. This is State of Georgia versus Deshaun Robinson, charged in warrant number 2026 WA02373, obstruction, 2026 WA02374, public drunk, 2026 WA02375, simple battery on an officer, 2026 WA02376, simple battery on an officer. Representing the state is Assistant Solicitor Adams. Representing the defendant is Attorney Mark Lane, your witness.
Officer Walker, could you turn on your camera and raise, and unmute? Good morning, Officer Walker. Can you raise your right hand for me?
Good morning.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give before the court today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Could you please state your name for the record?
Officer C. Walker,
And where do you work?
City of Riverdale Police Department.
What's your role with the City of Riverdale Police Department?
So I'm on the patrol unit.
And what are some of your common duties?
Common duties is for patrol is we answer calls for service and traffic enforcement.
Are you post-certified?
I am.
How long have you been post-certified?
Since March of 2024.
And on January 26, 2026, did you respond to a call for service at 906 Allen Drive, Riverdale, Georgia?
Yes.
Is that location in Clayton County?
Yes, it is.
And what was the nature of that call?
So the original call that we received was actually a rape in progress. So that was the initial call. So we was in the area of Highway 85 and Allen Drive looking for that particular complainant. We was unable to find that complainant. In the area that we were looking, that's when Mr. Robinson was located on the balcony. I believe it was 609 Allen Drive, I believe, apartment B8 or 8B, one of those.
And what made you approach the defendant, or did you approach the defendant?
I approached the defendant after he was located. I was not the first officer to actually see him there. So by the time I got on scene, he was already encountered by my coworkers.
Okay. And when you arrived on scene and you did finally approach the defendant, what happened?
So when I was told by my coworkers that he was actually located on the balcony, he was laying down on the back porch of the residence. They made contact with the people inside who lives there, and we asked them, did he live there at that residence? They stated that they did not know who Mr. Robinson was at that time. By the time I got there, Mr. Robinson was already in handcuffs and detained at that time. But by the time I arrived. After that, Mr. Robinson was actually well known by Riverdale Police for different previous encounters that we have had with him. So at that time, that is when at the time we knew who he was by his face. We didn't remember his name at that time. So when we was asking him his name, he refused to answer that. All he was telling us is that he didn't do nothing at that time. So we ordered him we tried to take him down the stairs. I was trying to get him down the stairs and figure out where did he live and try to figure out his name at that time. He was non-compliant then. He wouldn't walk down the stairs. He would stiffen his body. He would fall out. He would even attempt to kick his feet, refusing to go with us. So at this time, that is when I believe it was my lieutenant at that time that actually had ankle he had shackles to put shackles on him. By the time, because my patrol vehicle was the closest to the location, we was trying to get him into the back of the patrol vehicle at this time. So on the way there, that's when he started doing the falling out, the kicking, the non-compliant. He was doing all of that. So we was able to get him to my car. When we tried to put him into the back of the patrol vehicle, that is when we still struggled. He actually kicked two of our officers, my coworker. He kicked Officer Lewis and Officer Harris. In the process of trying to get him into the back of the patrol vehicle. Eventually, after a little struggle, we was able to get him inside of the patrol vehicle, and that's when I transported him to Clayton County Jail as a RAM call, which is a non-compliant using lights and sirens.
When you interacted with the defendant, did you believe that he was under the influence?
Yes, because you could smell an odor of alcoholic beverage on his clothes as if he had wasted it on him. And as well as speaking with him, you could see that you could clearly hear that he had slurred speech and his eyes was red from possibly again, I wasn't the initial officer, so I couldn't tell if he was asleep on the back porch or was it from the alcohol, but his eyes was definitely bloodshot red.
Um, um, and you said that you were when y'all first before putting the shackles on him, y'all tried to did y'all order him or give him specific commands to try to get him downstairs?
Yes, ma'am. We along with my upper management at the time, before we did any hands-on activity as far as escorting him or walking him down or try to do anything, we gave him the opportunity.
Mhm. No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. Ross?
Right, good morning, officer.
One.
So you were out in the area, and I guess you're looking, you get a call that there was a rape in progress. You all couldn't locate the rapist, so you're just still at this location. What brought you all to this apartment balcony?
So the initial call, like I stated before, was a rape in progress. So in that surrounding area, the call pinged in the area. So there's a bar there called Fin and Feathers, which is a gated area, and the call pinged in the back of that location, but as well as the apartment complex is literally right behind this bar. So we checked the bar area parking lot as well as the parking lot of the apartment complex because it's all right there in the same area. And also the back area, which is a wood area right there on the back side of the apartments. It's a two-sided apartment.
Okay. And how did you gain access to the apartment balcony?
It's an open area, so as soon as you walk through, because they're not all connected, so it's a little space in between. We was checking the ground area as well. So when we went, we just seen a guy. Well, not me, my coworkers. They seen Mr. Robinson laying down upstairs on the balcony outside.
Okay. And was this a private balcony or a public balcony?
It's a residency, so you can clearly see without trying to, manipulate to try to see in there. So it's pretty open to the public.
Okay. Are you able to get to the balcony from outside, or do you have to go in through an apartment and then out a door onto a balcony?
No, you get You can access the balcony from the outside. It's a
Okay,
stair.
it just-
Yes, it's a stairwell that goes up.
Okay, and it's open to the public?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know if there were any security cameras at this location?
There is none, unless the residents themselves have a Ring doorbell camera or something of that sort, or their own security system.
Okay. And so you approach Mr. Robinson on the balcony, and then you see, I guess, the residents inside an apartment that's kind of near that balcony. Is that correct?
No, so the balcony is directly connected to the resident. So we knocked on the resident's door to see if this gentleman, Mr. Robinson, lived there. The residents, they did not know who he was at all.
All right. And so what did you do after that?
After that, that's like I said, I wasn't the first one on scene. So after that, along with my upper management, we tried to remove him from the resident because he doesn't live there.
Okay. But you weren't there when the initial encounter occurred with Mr. Robinson?
No, sir. I was still in the area looking for the initial call, which is the rape in progress. So I was looking for that complainant.
Have you seen any video footage or body cams that were on the officers that encountered Mr. Robinson initially?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you know if anybody's generated a report?
I was the one that did the report, sir.
Okay. I just got a copy of the warrant. So you did write a report on this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when you did encounter Mr. Robinson, did he seem lucid and able to understand your questions and commands?
Yes, sir. He did understand.
Okay. Did you identify yourself as a police officer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you weren't like in undercover capacity or anything. You were in your normal police uniform with your badge showing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know if the other officers were dressed like that, where they were clearly identified as law enforcement officers?
Yes, sir. We all were.
And you verbally told Mr. Robinson and showed him your badge?
Yes, sir. It's displayed on us.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, officer. I don't have any further questions.
All right, any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
All right, closing arguments.
Yes, they will waive and reserve.
All right, go ahead.
Your Honor, defense would just submit with the officer's testimony.
All righty, so based upon the evidence presented, I do find it sufficient probable cause to bind Mr. Robinson's charges over to the state court of Clayton County. That's the order of the court.